All right, let's get started with the Web Mistress Weekly Montage, Week 2. In Week 1, Web Mistress got her predictions right 5 of 6 times. In addition to the nearly correct picking of the winners, she was correct when she said Shaw better stop throwing INTs. He threw 2, but that Andre would have a good game. He did. Let's move this faster. She was spot on when she said little Sammy B would be sent back to the benches. He and half his teammates ended up in the hospital. She was stating fact when she said that Romo couldn't hold a candle to Drew's jockstrap. That would hurt too much to not be true. She was genius about a criminal-less roster is 100 times better than a criminal-filled roster. And she was 100% accurate when it came to the sisters. The only thing she blew was Whitey and Los Fritos. So much for integrity. In 7 years of commissioning a fantasy football league, the mistress has never, ever seen a defense with with 1 point. It's not even possible to get negative points. You imbeciles who think you've seen negative defenses in the past are dead wrong, because a defense does not lose any points for wide receivers blowing past a defender or allowing 500 yards of offense. So back to Taiwan Dragons and his inept Steelers D. Sleep well, little dragon. Just remember that you've won over $2,000 in this league over the course of its history. Cry me a freaking river. All right, let's get to the predictions. Last week's Sister Bash was the game of the week. This week's Barn Burner should be no different when it comes to excitement. So in game 1, we've got Telecommunist versus Southpaws, the number 1 versus the number 2 team in the league. It's early in the season, but this should be epic. It will be intense. And in the immortal words of Les Miles, Bedlam 2004, 2 teams are going to play. One is maybe the best team in football, and the other one is a darn good football team. We are going to play and figure out which is which. Web Mistress predicts Telecommunist is the best team, at least for another week. All right, let's look at game number 2, Whitey versus Longhorn Network. Has anyone heard and or seen a man named Whitey? He didn't show up for the draft. He hasn't paid his dues. He never changed his lineup, he's not made any transactions, and he hasn't responded to any emails. Is he one of those dead voters that got Obama elected? Seems like this league always has to have a deadbeat owner. We'll give him another week to show his face. If he doesn't surface, the mistress is calling Dog the Bounty Hunter. Web Mistress predicts Longhorn Network, forever known as the Big 12 dissipator, with the win due to lack of interest by his opponent. All right, in game number 3, Los Fritos versus Yellowman. The imposter Los Fritos won soundly in week 1, but he's already jumped on the waiver wire trying to beef up his roster. As the resident FEOE, he'd like to make everyone think he knows what he's doing. The mistress knows otherwise. Yellowman left lots of points on the bench by not playing wide receiver Steve Smith, who benefited from one-game wonder boy Cam, show me and my daddy the money, Newton. It won't be enough in week 2. Web Mistress predicts, in an unprecedented decision, the one who is pretending to be somebody else, trying to gain financial advantage through social engineering, defeats the Oriental. All right, let's look at the next matchup. Dynasty versus Peaches and Cream. As Web Mistress predicted, she would beat Dynasty, but Dynasty would learn by the example laid out before her and do well from week 2 on. Though she continues to carry Michael Des Bryant wannabe Crabtree, she's got a solid team. As for Peachy, until Romo is sent packing, this team will be singing, trouble, 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 trouble. Web Mistress predicts Dynasty has no trouble beating the Romadiculous Creamer. All right, the next matchup is Running Red versus Taiwan on Dragons. Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. All right, enough of the singing, people? Nemo will be the inspiration for these two Gooner fans as they both try to rebound from their week 1 woes. Web Mistress predicts, as the mistress pulls out her war chant lyrics, these two battle for last place. Running Red, with some help from his newly acquired one-game wonder boy Cam, gives another L to the returning champ. And finally, Web Mistress versus Spartans. Another epic matchup to watch. Brady versus Breeze. The Jets D versus the Ravens D. Pretty boy Peyton Hillis, born in the bowels of Arkansas, will be the key to a mistress victory. However, unbeknownst to her, Web Mistress predicts Spartans as the pre-crowned winner with the win. So that wraps up the week 2 weekly Web Mistress montage. Enjoy and good luck.